conference will now be recorded.
Where the assistant
You're not being recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have previous minutes to approve.
You're gonna call the meeting to order at 4:04.
I did call the meeting to order. I said, well, I'll call officially. The meeting is officially called to order at 4:04. That's why I have you here, to keep me honest, Jim. And there were meetings to be approved
November 19th.
from November 19th.
You want the discussion first, or you want a motion to approve with the discussion?
Motion to approve.
Well, yeah, so moved.
And I'll second. Now we can discuss.
Okay.
Did we make a note of when we were expecting to get the 5-year numbers back? I can't remember.
It's an excellent question. We said as soon as we could. I don't know whether we went to a specific date or not. That's a good question.
So I did not include that in the minutes. I can go back to the recording and check.
I was just curious if anybody remembered to jot it down, because I couldn't find it, because this, when we push the rest of the schedule on, we're gonna need to, figure out when that's back, so we can complete the rest of the exercise.
Then you'll hold the minutes until, and I can go back, look for it and hold the minutes.
Does it, Matt, we could set a date now and supersede,
No, we're discussing the minutes. So this is what actually happened in the past meeting.
Okay,
So we can either approve it without that note in here, or I can go back and amend it, look for it, amend it, and then vote the next time around. It's
I
up to
want to
you.
get bogged down in there and make sure that I even know what it is.
Okay,
I'm happy for you.
so, all right. So then you wanna, we'll let you do the research and then we'll figure it out from there.
Okay, we can just pass it.
All right, we're gonna pass it, so let's vote on the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Wait a minute. That's my line. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. All right, please.
And 3 is it. All right.
So we made-
Now you can do your opening comments.
I don't have any specific opening comments, except for the fact that I'm glad we're finally getting into this part of the process. And we're starting to ask the questions and moving along. I think we did some really good groundwork to get this set up with the spreadsheets and everything else that we've done. And I know that the department heads have been cooperative. And so I think we're getting inch by inch, we're getting Belchertown to a better place as this stuff is getting moved along. Either one of you want to add a comment, that's fine.
I'm still stuck up on that date, and I wonder if either Eric or Linda know. Did we ask you to return the final 3 years at a certain date?
I think it was ASAP, but it wasn't
Okay.
a desperate ASAP.
I forwarded that email, I don't remember
I don't remember seeing it either.
anything coming in.
So was it 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
But there was other stuff too, senior center, police, fire.
Yeah.
That's just, have you received any of them back?
We received them from,
We've gotten 4 from admin. We've gotten 1 from the fire department
But those were this year still.
for this year.
No, I
Yeah.
mean,
We haven't got the
Oh, the out years? No.
years.
You have not gotten mine.
yeah,
I'm working on them, but yes, there was no date, because
yeah.
there's no date.
so if, Eric, if you remind me.
Yep.
I will forward a reminder email, and we can set a date.
Okay.
When's our next meeting?
However yours going along. You're 3, 5, 4, or 5. I have them. Be ready.
Yeah, I thought we had a regular.
We had another one set, didn't we?
Yeah, we're set through January.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
Oh, dear.
It's on,
You have to,
it's on January 21st.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
so from the minutes of the last meeting.
So I think, Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that you make a request to Mr. Williams to ask for them back, if you want back early, a week before.
The next meeting's the 19th of January,
Next meeting's 21st.
21st of January. Mr. Williams, what do you think is a good schedule for getting everything back from department heads?
It's January 14th.
Yeah, we can shoot for the 14th.
All right, let's say it's January 14th.
At the hall.
Excellent. And our next meeting's the 21st, and we want things by the 14th.
Well, that one you might be able to amalgamate,
Yeah.
make up the story.
Yep.
Pieces for discussion at that meeting.
Good one regarding this.
Somebody else will say thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Let's get started.
I'm gonna suggest considering our ability, we focus on the Tibbetts Brook Middle School list first,
Sure.
in order for,
Do we have the ability to throw the spreadsheet up
That's-
on the screen?
You can do a share. Are you logged, can you log into the meeting?
No, I don't have the spreadsheet. I don't have the spreadsheet.
I have it in my
Can you share
Gmail,
it
that's
now?
what I,
Because in other committee meetings, I can't
Yes.
find a way to take control and share. If I hit the share, it says I don't have permission.
Well, you need to be logged in on your PC.
Yeah.
And once you're in the meeting, then you share it, you share it with another meeting.
the presenter has to then say,
can I get in through my Gmail through there or not?
I don't know how you.
Since I left it at home.
Both roles. That is a little bit beyond me. Because we can't log that computer off the town server.
Yeah, we should be able to split the screen somehow though, but I don't know.
Although you have a town, it'd be your Gmail account.
Yeah, read my Gmail account. All right.
If you have it on your phone, you can email it to Derek.
He should have it already from what Mike sent around too though, so we should both have it.
Yeah, if you have it, log into the GoToMeeting,
I can hold the dog if you want.
and then I'll walk you through how to do that.
All right, if you want to start discussing one while I try to get off the meeting.
One sec here. I apologize.
Yeah, on the agenda, this is not
The agenda.
That's not a live link on the agenda.
Oh,
Eric's next.
But you don't have the number. There should be a number. Oh, there's the number. I can give it to you when you're ready.
Okay.
It's gonna ask you for a meeting ID.
Yep.
Is it on, is it up or something?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah. how come I- Oh,
Seven,
there it is.
798-173-293.
Okay, find it right here.
Says it's invalid. 798-173-293.
Yep.
Oops. That makes sense too.
Well, this is not fun. It's not letting me in. I'm trying to sign in, but
so
I'm trying to go from.
798-717, that's not right. 798-173.
Oh, it's an extra
You got
seven.
an extra 7 on it. Okay, okay, that should work.
What do you know?
Is it there?
Yeah,
Excellent.
There you are.
yeah, I want to turn off my phone. Well, that's this.
all right, so you want to
Thank you. That's what I did before. I got it.
So you're all set.
Thank you,
I
Eric.
should be all set, but to share, ask the organizer to make.
Well, I can do it for you. Just pull the spreadsheet up and I'll send you the share request.
Do you know the date that you emailed that? Mark?
Don't they have to have this year, but on the spring?
Yeah, and it's grayed out. That's why I couldn't do it at other meetings. That's why I was a little bit curious. You made me presenter?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
It's right around the time of our last meeting, because we had those,
Was it from you or was it from Mike?
it was probably from me.
So while that's going on, I just wanted to ask, I did send an email today with 2 additional capital requests
Uh-huh,
from the DPW for security
okay,
measures at the town hall.
Yeah.
Then there's a paper copy here. I know that's
Okay.
not on the agenda, so we can talk about them when it's appropriate, but I just
Okay.
want to make sure you got them.
did you find anything, Eric?
No, I haven't found it yet. I'm just,
Well, my apologies, like I said, I left my laptop at
We're
home.
starting with the recording.
Yeah. Okay,
so I don't have the master list. I have the individuals.
all right, I have an alternate plan here, let's see what we can do. If you start by talking to Eric, I'll run to my house and back and get that laptop, and then we can boot it all up the way we want it, because it's all there.
Do we have to have the spreadsheet?
No, let's just keep
Okay.
going. If one of them has the list. I have a separate version.
I've got the list, I've got all the these. and
Okay, good, all right.
Let's just
I just thought.
Straight on till dawn.
start, in my opinion, let's just start with the roof.
Yep.
Okay?
And so I asked Tom to come because one of the requests was for the parking and traffic study.
Oh, yes.
And he asked a lot more with that every day. And that initial request, like when I sent it in, it might have been like a FY 27, 28 request, but
Yeah,
now that the town is moving forward with the spring, it's kind of moved up to the school department's priority
okay,
for next year.
so what does that
So
mean in
it's the $200,000.
2.5? Is that just the study part?
So we've already done a study with Ty and Bond, and I don't know if I submitted that study to you guys when I submitted the request. But I'm meeting with Linda and Chris Lorenzo from DPW tomorrow morning at Jacobs Brook to look at, to see if some of this can be handled in-house, or if they can assist with some of it, to try to alleviate some of the costs. But yeah, the total worth of work that Ty and Bond had recommended was the 300,000, so that's the number I put on there. I don't anticipate that it's gonna be the full 200,000. I think that we can handle some of it in-house, but I won't have an exact dollar figure until I meet with them and.
So my only question would be is if you're gonna put it out, right, you're gonna have to put a set of documents together to put it out to bid. So that's included in the 200? Should we assume that that's in the 200? And or are you gonna get all that done in 1 year?
I should share the study with you guys, so that you can read over it. Linda has a copy of it. It's pretty much turnkey and ready to go. A lot of it is, traffic markings,
Wait a minute,
there's adding a sidewalk, changing the upper lot around a little bit. There's another lot on the side of, on the baseball diamond side that I think we were looking at creating an access road with that. That was when we were looking at renovating or building a new school. So it wouldn't take much to put together those documents. Like I said, Ty and Bond has done 2 studies that already on this. So it's pretty much turnkey, ready to go. We just would need to tighten up exactly what portions of their recommendations we want to put forward. Because one of the recommendations was to push out we needed additional parking spaces for staff. And DPW actually was able to do that with us 2 years ago. Pushed out, we added hard pack gravel, we created an additional 10 parking spaces. So that can come off of that study. But I'll let you kind of, Mike had asked questions last time about what, is it a need, is it a necessity, and I'm gonna try to talk.
Yeah, I'm not hung up on the dollar.
Yeah.
We're here
Right.
to say, is this more important than your roof? Is it more important than Linda's plow?
Yeah.
And so I need to understand, do you have enough current parking for your staff and visitors right now? Or are they parking on the street?
Well, just to be clear, right, my right now only lasts for 6 months, because with the district realignment and the sixth grade moving to the building, that number is significantly different to today.
Excellent point, excellent. So that's maybe the better question.
So hold on, you're adding a grade in the fall.
Correct.
And that means that's gonna increase the population of the building by a third?
The student population will increase from 320 students to 475 students. Then we have the proportionate level of traffic increases that are anticipated
Right.
that will impact the start of the school every day,
When was the last time we had 3 grades in that building?
more than 25 years ago.
Right. So that didn't, there's nothing to compare to.
The closest comparison would be 30 years ago when it was the high school,
Right.
4th grades.
Right.
You know what percentage of your kids being dropped off?
I do. In fact, part of this traffic study was created because of traffic problems that existed with the current building population. The difference from that, I think it was 2017, the building population in 2017 was 330 students. I'm at 320 now, 8 years later. So not a significant difference in that time. We did, without any resources, as many mitigating factors as we could to avoid a traffic backup on Springfield Road. You see it only sporadically because of steps we took internally. I have additional staff covering students. I have drop-offs in the morning that are unrestricted, whereas other buildings, I pay for additional staff to let the kids in the building early to avoid backing up Springfield Road. With an increase of the 6th grade, I happily come to this meeting because I do not know how to solve that problem. There is going to be a traffic backup that, despite my best efforts in talking to everybody possible, everyone agrees it's a problem without an easy solution. 128 vehicles entered the building Monday morning between 7:10 and 7:35. If you go by an additional grade level, that would put another 50 to 75
Yeah, so we get
vehicles
like 175.
in that, and that's a low estimate, right? I'd have over 60 for each grade at 128, that exact number, which I
Is it-
don't think is
And do you
realistic.
know if the study has some alleviation or a different flow pattern, which would help
Correct.
mitigate something?
In fact, if I can, I think that's the level of reason for the importance. These were traffic issues we had discovered years ago without this transition. This transition just exacerbates the problem where we're relying on advice given to us previously to help mitigate it.
Right.
Then you're already doing the management act, which a lot of school systems don't do. They have the staff come in early, let the cars come freely.
Correct.
You know, some.
That was the only thing, we did a redesign for the drop off that helped a little bit, but if you're familiar with it, you have a very tight turnaround to get to basically
So-
adapted parking lots. That's gonna back up Springfield Road the first day of
The
school.
money you're looking for, the project you're looking to do is fill in the blank in terms of what you're,
What's the scope?
So the recommendations from Ty and Bond are to add a sidewalk from the upper parking lot leading down to the canopy so that the parents can drop off in the upper lot, pick up and drop off in the upper lot, which would open up the lower lot. We're gonna need the old lower lot for additional parking spaces because along with another grade level, you're gonna get another 12 or 15 steps.
is the lower lot the one that's at the foot of the hill?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're already maxed out for parking as it
Yeah.
is, even with the extension that DPW helped us add. So we need that lower lot for parking, which is currently being used as a parent-student pickup and drop off.
Right.
So there's that. Then there's the entrance from the North Washington Street. They recommended widening that, taking some of the land around from the island and creating a bus traffic lane and a parent traffic lane that would kind of come in from North Washington, lead parents that are dropping off the students, if they are coming through that way, to be able to go up and leave Springfield Road, but also leave a lane for the buses so that they can just come and go as.
But timing wise, this is the planning stages, not the construction phase.
Well, that's what I was getting to. about
Yeah, that's what-
mechanics
yeah.
of, I understand the importance of not, with all the other projects.
Yeah.
Not sure where it falls yet, but I understand it's pretty important what the background is. I'm just wondering is part of this 25 grand to get a set of plans done that you're gonna wanna do before July, because you're gonna wanna, are you
That's
planning on
what I'm
building
going,
this
exactly.
this summer? It's a hard thinking that this is 27. This sounds like a 26
Yeah,
project.
something's gonna have to happen this summer.
Well, it's fiscal year, so it'd be fiscal year 27, even though it's happening in July of 26.
July.
Yeah, as long as it happens after June 30th or July 1st, that's what I was questioning, was it gonna happen before that?
When the school get on, June 1.
Depending on snow days, yeah.
So-
Well, yeah, maybe you put it out and then the first thing goes.
Why don't I ask the dumb question, which is, what's the anticipated figure for doing all the work from, once you're done with the study, what's the fund, what are they thinking?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll have a better idea of that after I meet with Linda and Chris tomorrow on site to see
Yeah.
what the DPW can kind of help us with. Part of it, taking a chunk of that island in widening that, I think, they might be able to help us with part of that. The line painting and stuff like that, that's an easily outsourced thing. We already have a contract we use for that. The upper lot would have to be graded, hard pack brought in to kind of create a wider driveway / parking area. I think that, they have the equipment to do that if we pay for the materials.
But
Well, if I can, to answer both those concerns, we're very cognizant of the timeline, and I think the best way to put it is this. If we want to try and put in a road, we're very happy putting a dirt road in and making sure it works before we spend more money on anything else, and both out of necessity and preference. So the process is going to take time. We're well aware of that. I think even if we started 6 months ago, we would still have concerns about timing before the first day of school. So in that sense, we don't want to make haste and say that it's not something that is going to require that level of both investment and consideration. At the same time, that problem starts day one and the clock's ticking.
But we don't want to be, just go ahead.
I've been listening to this and I'm wondering what will the flow of traffic look like after these,
Can I send this to you?
after these changes are made? And will it alleviate some of the current problems you're already having?
Well, again, since this study was done with what is the current building population and traffic problems that were experienced at that time,
Yeah.
we know that was the most cost-effective recommendation to try and alleviate it. I can't speak to, is that going to alleviate the total problem with the increase in consolidating the schools? Because that was neither the scope of the study, nor was it anything we looked at efficiently. So it's really, it's the fact that we went to Ty and Bond, we had the traffic experts and the designs looking to make the recommendations they did. That was part of why we're coming forward with that information. It's a fair consideration to question if that should be even looked at completely once again, knowing the parameters have changed.
Yeah.
But to that point, all of those options have a price tag to consider in relation to it, and this move is happening regardless.
And two thoughts on that though. One is, we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we do some work that causes more work to be done, like mud, et cetera. And then the second part is, if I'm understanding things now, more kids are riding the bus than used to ride the bus. I mean, more kids are getting rides in than they used to. So you're getting more and more local car traffic in and out of the driveways. So, I'm wondering, one, if there's any sense at all that there needs to be a campaign that, at least during a transition time, to urge people to use the bus, because the traffic at the school is gonna be a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
And two, I don't want us to rush this project and do it wrong. I'd rather us get this project right for the long term, because we're gonna have 3 grades at Javish for quite a while to come. Let's get it right. And if it means taking an extra few months, compared to all the other hassles in life, that's not a bad one. So,
Sure.
yeah.
I think the consideration to try and alleviate the burden temporarily
There you
of the cooperation in the community makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
At the same time, transportation 7 to 12 is a fee-based system.
Right.
So I can't do more than ask.
Right.
It is provided only in this dynamic, this transition requires that the 6th grade is provided for transportation in 6th grade alone. So that might help alleviate the increase if more people are able to do that, because the fee isn't associated with that grade level alone. But hearing from the other side and communicating both sides of the issue, Belchertown in its square footage alone and square mileage alone, the amount of time it takes to board a bus, ride a bus, get to school versus the drop off to the school is the reason why so many cars are accessing the building.
Understood.
That to the same point of the long-term issue, that's not going to go away either.
Well,
It's a problem many communities are facing with access.
And to get back to what Mike said earlier, we have, the challenge before us is weighing what's necessity, what's required, what's liked, what's wanted, there's sort of a spectrum that we have to take in. So the idea of doing a study obviously makes sense. Sure,
Just want to make a recommendation.
go for it.
I would suggest that in the next month, Eric meets with Linda.
Yep.
Like they say tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or whenever they're meeting. Figures out what part's gonna be done.
Yep.
With town staff. And also have some discussions about even, when you put it out to bid, does it need a full set of bid documents? Or are these documents good enough that, I don't know if you put out chapter 90 contract, if you do others, it wasn't something you did.
After 90?
Our payment contract, we put out like a payment services contract.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
So might the school system access that, so you might not need a full set of bid documents? Someone's gonna look at it, easily, and
You have to
say,
identify the project because they want to see it, right? They don't have to hold your pricing,
yeah, so I would suggest that someone's gonna have to do some sort of plan or
Right.
amendment to the study to show what work's gonna get constructed. So I think you guys should start working on that regardless of whether,
Yeah.
and we can just continue to
It's
plan.
broken down in that document, there's 3 different phases, and it's broken down by their estimated cost. Of course, the costs are 5 years old at this point, 6 years old.
Didn't suffice.
Um,
I don't know why they won't take it. It's weird.
Go ahead.
Right now, you've got 320 students. The parents drop off coming in off of Springfield. Is the tail of cars waiting to drop off their kids, does that extend into Springfield right now?
Yes,
It does.
it does.
Okay. Is there any children that are getting out of their car, either on Springfield or in that tail, and going past other moving vehicles to get up to the school? I'm thinking from the safety and exposure to the children.
Yeah.
Are there any parents that are letting their children off prematurely, I guess is my question, before they get to the correct location for unloading?
Rarely, we've been able, the mitigating steps to this point have prevented that for the majority of the time. But on certain instances, when it gets backed up, variations in the weather or where it's rate slows down because of rain, or our ski club that will start in a few months that always backs up Wednesdays, it does happen on occasions. And that's again, before the change.
And what ages are your children?
Right now with the 7th and 8th grade, it's 12 to 14. And so we're gonna be adding the 6th grade, which will start at 11.
Right, so,
So
I like your suggestion.
I have
We
one
want more
suggestion,
definitive.
One more part of it. I would also reach out to Mass DOT. There's a Safe Routes to School program where they cover the cost of construction and they do the design. You can't choose your designer, so you get whoever's on their on-call contract, even if you'd like time bond or or somebody else. You can't, they'll select a designer for you. They won't do the parking lot though. So it's all for like bus routes, pedestrian sidewalks to the street. And I'm sorry, I can't show you the plan, but you can send it to me. It's basically widening, widening the existing driveway, and doing a mill and overlay, adding the sidewalk or redoing the sidewalk. And then, some additional work on the entrance out onto Old. Springfield Road, and then a lot of restriping to improve circulation, adding some signage, and then about 12 new spaces down at that, to the south of the existing parking lot.
Yeah, those have already been done, yeah.
So one of the things on this feasibility study that should be looked at is, since that was originally done, the town bought property on Washington Street to the south of that to allow for additional circulation and possibly parking. So, long-term planning, that should be looked at as well.
Can,
This may be a borrowing item.
yeah, I was gonna say that the cost for this could either remain here or jump depending on what has to happen. I would think that, after you have a chance to meet and discern what you need in terms of more information, potentially more cost information, one side of a page summarizing this whole thing would be really valuable. Because this study, as you said, is 5 years old, et cetera. We're looking to talk about adding the grade, and this is all gonna be integrated into a townwide discussion as we move on from Cold Spring, et cetera. So let's make sure we get the information right so we know what we're doing. And what I hear you saying, if I'm hearing you right, is this is the top priority for that school out of necessity, because otherwise it's gonna make the school functioning wise, it's gonna be much more difficult in terms of getting people in and out.
With one caveat, there have been, for the land, I said this to the school committee as much as I'll say to everyone in town, there have been a long list of capital improvements that have been tabled at this building for the past 10 years. Intentional to the fact of whether or not it was worth the investment in an aging infrastructure. That decision has already been made.
Yep.
And so some of these priorities, I don't want to be misrepresent as saying that they all have to be a priority, but the traffic study is beyond my control in its timing because the move has been decided by the
Right.
town. And the roof as a priority doesn't change because of the traffic problems. And so to be fair to that point, it's, I have buckets sitting in my cafeteria because of the ice dams that are leaking in my roof. I can't tell you the traffic is more important than the roof.
Has any progress been made on applying for the?
Yeah, so I know what
Accelerated
there is,
roof.
sorry, go on.
Let's finish with the traffic before we go on to another one.
I hear you.
So this is a request for 200,000. What does that actually buy?
200,000 was the estimate in the report.
Right,
At that time, what, if we were to do.
250, 500,000, whatever the number is, what does it buy? Does it buy a completed, functioning, new traffic pattern, drop off, et cetera? Or does it buy just a study for what we should be doing next year? Or what is the scope of this piece of paper?
That is to cover construction of all of the recommendations plus construction contingencies.
Okay, thank you. And I do appreciate your saying if we need to go in with a temporary hard pack road and make sure that the flow does work and that we don't need to adjust it, that is prototyping. And as an engineer, I love prototyping.
Right.
So the idea of let's put it in, prove it, and then we can come back and put extra layers of asphalt, whatever.
Because we know that the number may be different. We're fully cognizant of that fact.
Understand?
We'll mitigate that to make it work.
But
I have
Jen-
a question.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking about the timeline.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is this is gonna take more time than the reality, being that 9 months from now.
Yeah.
You have to have a working plan. Is there or is that what you were talking about? I don't know the language, but is there what do we do in the meantime strategy?
I think so. Well, we've talked with the Belchertown Police Department, we've talked with administration. We anticipate it may have to be through experience that people realize spacing out the time to arrive at the school having a police officer present at the entrance ways to help mitigate some of those traffic backups, to help the flow of traffic be alleviated. We anticipate that may be the most likely first day of school scenario to realize whatever parts of this we're able to accomplish and what work may have to happen as we are there to figure this out. The reason why I said, please let me speak to anybody who wants to hear it is because what I hope to avoid is people seeing the problems the first day of school saying, why didn't you tell us, or why didn't you warn us? I
So
am,
the third column needs
Well,
to be public
it's-
education.
In that education, the other, if you can push the concept of carpooling.
That's what I
So
said.
two neighbors and, is one car instead of two cars. Right? Anyway, I'm
As
not,
a-
I'm
as a
not here
point-
to solve your problem.
no, I appreciate that. We've already made a plan that we're looking for both public input as well as public education about what this transition looks like. I can tell you from the other side, I have parents already who are itching to find out what's it gonna be like with my kid there. I'm worried about this, what time is it, all of those things.
Yeah.
So we have a plan with the first of the year to start pushing this out, to have open forums, and to be very transparent of the fact that this is, to me, the number one problem I don't have a good answer to. And that it's probably gonna take some time before we can truly solve it. And to be as cognizant of that as all of these other details.
So, before we go any further, there's also the fact that, as we look at Javish Brook over time, as you said, there are other capital projects that are sitting there that are gonna need to be done. Windows, the roof. We're just talking about traffic. You've talked about things like, repairing the bleachers there, some other things. So it's clear that, wherever we go next, part of what we're doing is we're putting more pressure on that school in particular here. That we're gonna have to follow that up somehow with the recognition that we have to meet some of those infrastructure issues we have. That's also up to us getting the information and the town supporting it. But we, as the capital committee, can say this is a priority need legitimately, there's another $1 million, if you include the driveway piece, another $1 million that Javish Brooks needs besides the roof at 2.4 million. So there's, that's what's listed here. I'm just saying, we know that school building needs some attention now that we've decided as a town that it's gonna be the building we're gonna use.
And again, I totally respect and understand, we have to balance priorities equitably as to
Right.
their needs. Just because I'm here doesn't make my asks any more
No.
serious or necessary than other things. But there are a number of things that I would add to that list.
Yeah.
We have a number of water lines that are capped. So we're gonna put a demand on the water system and on the plumbing system. I think we're okay, but it's gonna be upon realizing the capacity changes, how well we fare with that.
When you say demand on the water, is that the public water supply coming in, or is the distribution within the building?
It's, I think the greater concern is the distribution within the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had a number of lines that we've had to cap because the copper is simply too thin to hold the water.
Welcome to Belchertown.
Has there been a town decision, like how far are we looking down the road with James Brook?
Well, if we take this conversation of like timelines and planning and commitments.
I don't want to go too far, but
No, I get you.
when we're improving things, are we thinking it's 10 years?
Yes.
At least.
Yeah,
Could be
I think-
longer, but it's not
I think
two.
it's 10 years before you have a conversation about what else we can do, and then it's a matter of, what we experience in that time. Some of which, to be fair, I think we can anticipate, some of which,
Yeah.
like happens in maintenance of older buildings, things happen.
The only other
So-
comment I would have is that you consider doing the parking lot as a separate project from bus improvements. Because while you can manage around that, getting 20 teachers' cars out of the way right away might be a simple project that you can do in the summer right away, or even this group can do.
Yeah.
So
But included.
you go ahead and I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
wrap this up
Just
somehow.
back to Safe Routes to Schools, because they will also offer like a drop off at a different location and like crossing guards to walk the kids to school to encourage walking. I don't know if that is at all feasible, but if maybe this parking lot early in the morning was where parents could drop their kids off and then you had some crossing guard walking the kids to school, there's other safe routes to schools, we probably have already been involved in it, but they offer other ways to get the kids to school that would get them outside and walking other than.
So
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they'll
Yeah.
provide, but yeah, you gotta approach them. So.
getting back to what our priority is here with the capital planning committee is to recognize that with you, that there's a need, hear the numbers that we have and then evaluate that in terms of other things. So this is obviously one that when we had this discussion a year ago and we talked about it, yes, there was talk about improving the parking lot, but nobody was talking about adding a whole grade at that moment in time. That's the decision that was made in the interim. And there are repercussions from that system that are gonna be felt townwide. This is one of them.
I think that the issue is though, there should be a crossroads point where somebody says, do we need to borrow and put out a bond in the school?
Yeah.
For 3 million, 5 million, whatever, to do all these projects together,
Right.
which would make more sense, be better financially to bond it that way, rather than doing $500,000 a year, 300,000 and 200,000.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep, I agree. So you're gonna meet, let me just process wise, you're gonna meet tomorrow and whatever you need to and come back to us with
Yeah. the next
a much
meeting,
clearer set of. Perfect, and if you could bring a piece of paper with the diagram on it, just because we're having our own sense of trouble, that would be fantastic.
We need to
What-
come
what-
an hour.
What I
early.
don't want us to do though,
Yeah,
I don't want us to be engineer. I
no,
don't want us to design it.
Nope.
I don't want us to critique the design. That's for them and for Time Bond and
Yeah,
whatever,
whoever.
okay?
Well,
So
I-
it would be nice to know, but it's not our job to figure out to say, well, let's move too.
no, I don't wanna do that, I just wanna get a picture of the whole
Yeah.
project. Otherwise, we gotta start telling Steve's joke again, which we're not gonna do.
Next.
Next,
Actually, while Tom's here, can we talk about the windows and can we talk about the roof?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're gonna do all this.
yeah, let's stay with Jabersburg.
So I met with MSBA regarding the roof. Their accelerated repair program, due to their budget availability, they switched to every other year now. So the earliest that we could apply for the accelerated repair program is January of 27.
Okay,
So we're at least another year out before we can even apply. And then you're a year out before they make a decision on whether you're invited in, then the feasibility study happens, and then, so we're a year out from applying, and then we're about 3 to 5 years out from actually construction.
For the accelerated repair, I know it's long compared to the rest of the world, but I thought that was much shorter than a typical school program.
Yeah,
Like
it
you
is.
apply in that first year,
Yes.
then it might take you a year to do documents,
Right.
and then it might take you a year to get it done. So it is 2 at a minimum.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying for us to compare,
to,
the earliest it would be done would be FY 29 at the end.
right,
Right.
right,
So then the decision would be made whether or not.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Does a roof project.
right.
Did anybody have any advice on whether or not they approve most?
It was, you might know, because with MSBA, Michael, he's in charge of the capital projects, I can't think of his last name. I talked to him a little about the age of the roof, we're doing the right things now, we've got proof that we're maintaining it. He thought it was obviously a viable project, especially due to its age. He said they're doing roofs now that are 20 years old.
Yeah.
Ours is almost 30, so.
Yeah.
It made sense. And plus that, we've already done the feasibility study as part of the
So-
last application.
Where does the money come from to make the repairs in the roof every year that you need to make?
So MSBA is funded by 1 cent on every tax dollar in the state of Massachusetts.
No, I mean, like,
No.
I'm saying you need to patch a hole in the roof next year.
Patching the roof, does that come out of your operation?
Where
It's
does,
not my operating budget, yeah.
so how much money are you spending patching that roof?
$4,000 or $5,000 a year, roughly. We spent quite a bit of money about 5 years ago to replace a lot of the areas where the roof drains are, were starting to
Yeah.
separate. We spent about $25,000 to repair a lot of those about 5 years ago. But the roof is, I was actually up there, the previous Ed Bosher was up there at one point with us looking at it. It's dry, it's brittle, it's a white
Yeah,
membrane
it's fine.
roof, it's past its age.
Okay.
And you currently have leaks now?
Yeah.
So you, okay.
For
And-
15 years.
Yeah.
Being like, the repairs can only be repaired so many times before it's not worth the effort because it doesn't hold.
As far as water infiltration and structural damage as a result of water infiltration, are we at that point? Are we? Okay.
No, we try to get on top of it as soon as they become available. Try to get the roofing company out there.
The primary, if I can, the primary reason though is we mitigated it because we put in drains through the building, through the classrooms, through the ceilings in order to prevent any standing water to cause further damage.
And at one point, we'd asked about tackling it in sections. Is that viable, or is this an all or nothing if you're gonna?
That's a conversation to have with the MSBA, so if they're gonna fund it, I'm gonna guess they're gonna wanna fund it all at once.
Yeah.
But, that's.
But
Why would you do
funding it means holding off 2, 3, 4 years before you get it done.
So another conversation I had with them is, and they're seeing this now, is you do it all in one swing, you potentially get that 50% threshold, the ADA upgrades, building upgrades. So if there's a threshold, a certain percent of the value of the building, if your construction project is over that, you trigger some energy codes and
Yep.
building codes.
Yes.
So to try to avoid that, the idea was to try to do it in phases, to not trigger the building code.
So do you have an architect that's been providing you any assistance with the other things like the windows that you could have?
So just part of the feasibility study, we did ask, to try to build a new building, or maybe that, we have that study, the feasibility study.
And did it go into that, like if you replace the roof and that $3 million or whatever it is, $2.5 million, is that enough of a percentage to kick you into? Because I thought in the building code,
It was
an
a
exemption-
heated-
there
it
was
was a
some
heated
language about
conversation.
roofs.
There was a heated conversation, the architect that did feasibility study felt that it would trigger a lot of the building codes.
There was argument about what is the current value of the building, which the proportion of that cost represents the determination as to whether or not it crosses.
And then you don't like, DOR doesn't like you splitting bids just for the sake of cost either.
Yeah, segmenting.
Yeah,
So
I
initial
think-
funding.
To Eric's point though, there was, the building inspector weighed in and he didn't feel that a roof project is.
I think simple roof membrane replacements were sort of exempted from the
Okay.
percentage because they just felt like
They had to do it.
it's, when you need a new main code.
Maintenance versus, right.
Yeah.
But, the other point is, those buildings don't have true value on, if you're gonna look at our assessor's
Right.
records,
Right.
Yeah,
that number is meaningless. The assessors.
yeah, no, someone has to do an estimate, like an architect would have to do an estimate that said if you built a new school like this, that the product that was X and.
And that, and rightly so, the assessors have no reason to assess a town building that's not being taxed, it's not. And it's not something, because they have to look at a market analysis and all these other things, it's very hard to find comps on a school.
Oh, it's impossible, yeah.
So it does fall back onto an architect or an engineer to come up with a value. on the building.
How does this decision about bonding projects move along? Has there been any talk about it?
At a very
School
high
department, with the select board?
Yeah, so the select board's role is to set the budget, and there's been some high level talks about borrowing, because over the years, our debt has decreased. And the money that we used for the debt has been going into operating expenses. But we should be trying to maintain a certain
Guys, are you still in the meeting? This is Esther, BCTV. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Now you go.
Shit.
Thank you very much. All right.
That's not
Well,
helping.
we said really.
Okay.
But if I mute,
Yeah, mute you. Yep. Yes.
You can't hear anything on this side.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to remote into your computer real quick.
So, and it shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so for some, oh, hold on. So Esther, for some reason during meetings, we get a pop-up box that asks us if we want to change the mic. And it goes into the echo canceling rather than the default. So this happens during select board meetings and other meetings too. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but if you could look into it. You still there?
She's muted.
Well, she's gone.
Wow.
I'm not going. Sorry. I forgot I was in your computer and it was unmuted there, but not mine. Yes, I will talk to Kevin to see what we.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
I think, Esther, it would be great if sometime before our next meeting, you gave us a basic tutorial on how we get this thing to work right the way we want it to, because we're getting stuck more often than not, which is not
Okay.
good.
Okay.
And it's about sharing screen or using other computers,
Yeah.
or is the town ever gonna give committees access to some secure file location that we can drop files into, and then we can just use that computer all the time?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's helpful to hear you say, to think about. Can you come like 15 or 20 minutes early for our next meeting?
Yeah, or we can meet,
Yes.
maybe it's a different time if that's what works best. I just want it to work, because we go through the first 15 minutes of every meeting trying to figure this out, and we never quite get it right.
Esther,
Gotcha.
this is not a unique experience. I'm wondering if there can be, I've talked with Steve about this, about having a very basic English outline.
That's what I was gonna say, have a list that is
Yeah,
this,
so
that,
that anyone who's coming in can follow the guideline.
talk to me like I'm a fifth grader.
Okay.
We've had instructions below the TV before and they're on the desktop, but I've tried a standee before, like a plastic thing to put on the table,
But the,
something down.
the issue is when we wanna share documents. That's the biggest issue.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've
But
never
a lot
taught
of the
anyone how to do
meetings,
that.
It seems to work okay in all the other committee meetings.
So, but the idea of meeting before a meeting to get over this hurdle, I think is a great idea.
Before
And
the
if there
meeting,
was something in writing, written, posted on a wall, that would be great, then we could like use that as we need to.
okay, gotcha. Next meeting, I will plan that.
All right, I will be in touch with you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Jagers Brook item, are we done with the windows?
Well, are you done with the windows?
Yes.
Do we want to talk about the bathroom renovations and the bleacher and asbestos removal, or is that something Eric can handle? I'm just trying to be cognizant of your time.
I appreciate it, but I'm happy to be here as long as Eric is.
Anything we need to know more about those three areas? The bleacher I know is one of safety.
Bleachers are original bleachers. We've been told we can't fabricate them. They've been welded and fabricated to the extent that they possibly can without us having to close them. We've stopped using them really for as a school. Well, not because we want to, but because some of them are just so unusable and hard to pull open.
So they're not open, and the bleachers are against the walls.
They are opened at times. We know their use is on borrowed time, so we use them as little as possible. I redirect events that would otherwise be done in the gym to be done in our assembly room instead, just to be able to preserve from condemning them completely.
Is it the same size, the assembly room?
No.
No, it's not.
The
even
last
close.
presenter we had, we actually asked to do 2 presentations because my seating capacity is technically below the grade level size.
So-
I have 170 seats and 160 seats and 165 kids, so we sit them on a couple of steps.
So are we getting past the point of repair on that?
Yes, past that.
And so is the only solution to figure out a way to replace them?
I wish that weren't true, but the truth of the matter is, when Jabesh opened as the middle school 20 years ago, those bleachers were condemned.
Right.
And it was only because we were able to find a way to get them welded that they were able to be used even on a partial basis. That partial basis has been the entire tenure, the last 20 years.
I like to kick this back to others.
Others meaning?
Select board and the school committee, because you're having a lot of project things, and this is one where you're gonna get in trouble because you're gonna have to do ADA bleachers if you're gonna replace in kind the whole thing.
Right.
It doesn't fit, and what
Right.
paper there, and what's the capacity, and all that stuff, so you probably need.
Yeah,
Is
that price, we've already gone to.
Yeah, so that all fits, and they've incorporated all that stuff.
So the price we have here includes that or not? Does not?
140,000 or something like that.
145.
Yeah, that includes tearing out the old ones, installing new ones, power, everything like that. That's super nuts.
And meet whatever code Massachusetts is gonna require.
So right now, the effect is, one, we can't utilize that space the way we have in the past because the bleachers can't be deemed safe. So we can't just leave them out for like basketball or meetings or anything else like that.
We use them sparingly at best, yes.
Right, if the more we use them, the sooner they're gonna eventually fail altogether.
Okay,
One of those
Understood.
wheels that we know we can't touch fails and we're done.
So I'm a hard sell, and what I'm hearing is, right now you're running the school without them,
Bleachers,
without the bleachers.
without full-time use of the bleachers, yes. Regular use.
With adding additional students,
that's what I was gonna go to.
can you continue to run with the current bleachers?
Well, because I'm not using them, yes.
Okay.
And then,
I mean, to be honest,
we also have the rec department use, so the rec department uses for basketball all year long and,
Rec department can get them in and out?
And you,
And again, I'm playing the devil's
No,
advocate
you're
here.
totally cool. No, part of the
You know,
limited
I don't
use-
mean
No,
to, okay.
it's appropriate to have that conversation. It's a fair question. The limited use is not just the school. Rec department that uses that gym on a regular basis also seeks events and activities to be able to use the bleachers. They're very cognizant of this problem and they don't want to be a cause of a burden on top of it, because if they're used sparingly, they get to use them once in a while too. But what you have is just that. You are mitigating the availability of use because of the age of the building.
You go, I think you're gonna go where I wanna go anyway.
maybe,
So we're just trying to be careful.
I'm just concerned.
How long can you keep limping?
Until one of those welds that we know can't be repaired goes. And if once it goes, it's not so, the infrastructure, I mean, this is like an accordion design, right?
Right,
If one thing goes, it's not a drastic safety hazard in that everyone is going to get hurt. But they're inspected on a regular basis because any wear that shows the potential is why we don't use it, to cause wear and tear that would force that to occur. So limited use, I'm using it if I can 3 or 4 times, if that, a year, if that. And I'm careful when I do that.
and failure occurs during opening and closing, or does failure occur while children are sitting on it?
Well, remember, a traditional high school bleacher, you're clapping to the game, you're
Stop it.
stomping your feet to the music, whatever the event is. So just the weight of use in its strains prior, during, or after are all
Okay.
possible.
Good point, thank you.
Go ahead.
You can take the floor.
I was gonna say that, there's 2 obvious pieces here. One is the safety piece, which is, right now, you're not anticipating any sort of catastrophic failure, but the idea of using a piece of equipment which is gonna break is not a good idea.
Right.
And then the other one is we've destroyed the utility of the space by not allowing this to happen. Not allowed to be used the way it should because they,
Yeah,
so,
clearly, if you have a school, you want to have interest to be able to operate the program. So I mean, at some point, all these Band-Aids and managing Band-Aids and having operational staff to have Band-Aids and just buying the Band-Aids is costing you more than just fixing it.
in fact, I can make a legitimate argument that this might be the most important project on this list, so.
My
Think
biggest
it's what-
question would be, I still question, we've got to get a better handle on, is it feasible to do these in an FY 27? And or does a planning part need to be put into 27? Some of them go to 28. Sounds like the bleachers.
You mean the
All of
multiple,
them, the James Brook. And then we can push discussions to other committees about, is there a better way to do all these projects?
I have an amendment to that thought too.
And then I'm still questioning, some of these things take 5 years to get done.
Yeah.
Are we really keeping that school longer than 10 years?
Mhm.
I think that's a very serious question, because if enrollments are continuing to drop drastically, is there some other plan that's gonna happen that mothballs that school?
So if I may, because I've heard this in a couple of meetings, I would direct people to the project, the feasibility study with the new project, because a part of that component requirement of us in that submission was to provide information to the state on what the projected student enrollment would be for the next 10 years.
Right.
That information stated that 10 years from now, the projection of the student enrollment,
Right.
for the same purpose, right? Is it too big, too small? What's your population going to be? That stated 10 years that the building population for a 3-grade building, which is now exactly what we're doing as of next year, would remain exactly the same as it is currently at 475. So you have some, take what you will as to how that study was done and to whom completed it, but you have the actuaries within the state whose job is to take all of those town components to make the prediction
Yeah, no, I
of
get it.
what the
So-
impact will be.
I get it.
Who said 475 10 years from now? So we know by a population standard, the premise of a declining enrollment, which we clearly see and know the time frame historically of what that's been, has enrollment that says Belchertown 10 years from now is going to have the same number of students as you have today.
So
Yeah,
At James Brook.
not necessarily townwide, which that's sort of what I'm asking.
here's
Because it
a,
was-
Fair point.
Because it was
That was
2,400,
the scope of the feasibility.
10 years
So
ago,
to that-
now it's
to that point, that's
1,600, the
fair.
projection's showing 1,200
Yeah.
in 5 years. So there needs to be a more
It seems-
comprehensive.
it seems to me that there are potentially 2 borrowings that could occur for Jabesh Brook. One would be for the roof and the other one would be for everything else. Whether you want to put them together in one or make them into 2, doesn't matter to me, whatever the town deems is best. But it would seem that that's the way out of this problem with Jabesh, is that has, because if we're gonna take on these projects year after year, by the time we get to the final project, it's gonna be 10 years from now.
Well, but to the previous point, you put on too many things, and where are we, but right back, beginning of where we were, and too many, the cost requirements of a building that has a shorter tenure than the expenses far outweigh the usefulness of the.
I think,
It's a hard.
I think the bigger bones questions, the bigger bones projects need to stay together.
Yep.
The windows, the roof and all that stuff.
Yep.
And some of these programmatic things that
Yeah.
definitely need to be fixed.
Yeah.
And I know you've nursed the bleachers for 35 years, but bleachers are probably a 20-year item. They probably don't last the life of the building. So,
Yeah.
You could buy the bleachers and not say it's
Right.
part of a bonded project.
Right, so,
I mean, you can look that way.
And just for one other piece, we quoted, the quote was the design of the bleachers, I believe, that would fit into Chestnut Hill, should we decide to close Jabesh Brook in the future. Because Chestnut Hill's got bleachers too that are on the list for, I think, 2000.
I can't imagine you can make one size fits all, but anything's possible.
So you're saying that the design of these would be transferable, these would be physically transferable,
Yeah,
Potentially.
potentially, yeah.
potentially?
Interesting.
That was good thinking.
Any other thoughts about Jabesh?
I can go for hours. You don't want to have to hear me.
Any additional projects or?
Yeah,
Asbestos
significant
removal,
Asbestos
Yeah, that's something we've been doing every year since I've been here and previous to that. We try to do 2 classrooms a year. We've been, budget-wise, we've only been doing 1 classroom a year. Last year, we were able to do another science wing upstairs. I think we have another roughly 15 or so classrooms to go, and a couple of odd and end spaces that still have the 9x9 asbestos tiles.
And your request this year was for how many? To do it all?
No, so in our capital plan, ideally, I think we put $50,000 aside, which would give you, 2 classrooms a year.
It says 58.
Yeah, so
Yes, 2 classrooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's the abatement,
So again, about $500,000 to do the rest.
that's.
10, 12 might be 6.
Yeah, then we get into.
If you did them
the-
all at
we get
once.
into the piping, the asbestos.
Yeah.
Insulation.
That's just the floor.
That's just the floors. Asbestos insulation is a whole nother.
And then bathroom renovation is, the only other one that's on the list.
Yeah, so that's on the list, and we applied for an ADA grant as well. Actually, Paul Asma called me today. Somebody from the state is coming out to do a walkthrough of that building to look at some of the ADA needs
And,
in the near future.
and what is that grant, if that grant were successful, would that cover it completely? Would that be a matching 50/50? Any idea?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know what we've heard, but we haven't done anything in like formal process that answer yet.
The existing gang bathrooms do not meet ADA. We've had to add a bathroom in the lobby, single-use bathroom to make it up to code.
And that, I think, is it for Jabesh Brook. Timing on the grant, on the ADA for the bathroom? Yeah.
I believe in the spring, they're gonna make an announcement.
Okay. That's it for the Jabesh.
Does Jabesh seem to have the biggest challenges for physical, shape and everything else?
Yes, and then, bringing this extra grade level back into it, it's gonna be interesting, for sure.
He's gonna put stresses on the building.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially when it comes to the bathrooms and use of the spaces.
Next would be pick a school. Wanna talk about-
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Instead of going right to the high school, why don't we talk about the others, Swift River and Chestnut Hill?
All right, I don't have the list in front of me, but I know there's some HVAC replacements at Chestnut Hill that are a pretty high priority for us. One of the cafeteria air handlers and the library air handler.
Yep.
Library had just failed. We just had a service call last week. We've replaced basically every component you can in that unit. It's original, it's 40-something years old, it's way past its life expectancy. So we're doing just about everything we can, putting electric space heaters into the area now to keep the building's temperature up to where it should be. So I know there's the cafeteria one that's already failed and not working. Luckily, there's a second unit that is operating and keeping things manageable for us. But the library unit, since our last meeting, has failed. So it's a top priority for us. We're nursing it along right now, but there's a chance that it gets replaced. I guess if there's a way to find money, there's a chance it gets replaced before this goes through to your suggestions go through to the select board.
So you have 2 units that you need to have replaced?
Yeah.
And
We're talking Chestnut Hill, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
All right,
And those
so-
are roughly $45,000 each, is that the?
So we've got the cafeteria, we've got the auditorium, but you keep mentioning the library.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cafeteria and auditorium, library is not on the list.
Okay, all right, I'm looking for one for
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
And then there might, I don't know if it's on the list or not, it might be like an FA 28 or FA 29 request. And we still have some classrooms that are original HVAC units that are on the list to be replaced. We've kind of been doing one and doing within the operating budget.
So the classroom units themselves, or they are handlers on top?
No, the classroom units themselves.
Have we ever hired an engineer to do a district-wide assessment of the shape of our buildings?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
Linda, we've got HVACs at the fire department, at the police department, at the schools, did we, 20 years ago, suddenly switch over to a HVA system and now they're all hitting the same end of life type of situation,
The fire
or?
station, the police station, the senior center were all built the same year.
Same.
Okay,
So that is where we landed.
okay.
And Swiffer, right? A year
It was
before.
right around
Right around
19.
Right around the same year.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like it was 1986, so that's the
Yeah.
oldest.
Does,
So that would explain why we're being hit now, and it's not like 5 years from now we'll be hit again, and 7 years and 10 years and whatnot.
They've exceeded their life, they're at 25 years, 26 years, that's just a little bit beyond what they're expected to do. So we are running into the maintenance issues, and then there's the R22, the
does,
refrigerant
Refrigerant
36.
change.
But once we get through this wave,
Well, we're good for another 25.
then we're good for, okay.
Does the
That's kind of
town-
where my thinking was going.
does the town and the schools use the same contractor at this time?
Not at the moment.
I don't know.
Was there ever any bundling of projects like to make one contractor do buildings, whether they're school side or town side?
We have to, when it's over 50, we put it out for quote.
I'm just thinking if there's,
Independent of the
Yeah,
last
you
quote
can't.
and independent
Yeah,
of the next one.
whoever responds.
We need to buy a contractor.
Is the vendor.
Yeah, unless you bid them all at the same time.
Right.
And then you get the same vendor.
right,
Or you have some reason why you have a proprietary, you have to prove it.
right.
Like if you're using the same manufacturer all the time.
Otherwise it just goes out to bid like everything else. Yep. That was a thought.
Yeah.
Quickly through
No,
my
I
head,
didn't know
but it
if
was
it was,
there.
I don't know if you were going with this, there's some state energy program.
No,
Like for public buildings.
I was, there's opportunity.
The company that you use, MCOR, they that one time got the contract for the schools. But historically, they're always higher bid than any of the other contractors that bid on our contract.
So
Town contractors bid than ours.
if these are not funded as capital projects, how do they get done over the next year or two?
So in my operating budget, I have a line for general building maintenance. And I try to set aside a certain amount of money for, one classroom year of asbestos removal Javers book. And then try to fund any kind of breakdowns as they come up throughout the year.
Because this brings, do you want to go ahead? Yeah,
I was
you're,
gonna say, did Steve leave for the day? I didn't see it.
you had to take the dog somewhere.
Because this is the bigger question. We're in a zone right now where it's money, right?
Yeah.
But in the future, we want to get capital costs out of your operations budget. So your operations budgets go down, but then there's a bigger capital budget. But if it's planned out well,
Yep.
it should be more efficient and you can use bonding.
Right,
And it won't be the Band-Aid approach.
right.
Exactly.
But there's got to be more discussions about what's going to happen during this phase and
Yeah.
how we continue to move that along.
Right, because obviously the long-term challenge is to have it all match up where you have maintenance is maintenance and, oh, are they here? Is he back? Oh, we were picking on you while you were gone.
We're
Did this,
picking on you. We were saying that there's a lot of money from the operations side of things going into capital improvements. So we're assuming as time goes by, the capital budget gets bigger, but the operations budget gets reduced. And that perhaps financially, which we don't know, but is there the town accountants or people looking at it that says it's much more advantageous not to use operational money, but to use bonding money or other capital money on the capital side of things. I mean, theoretically, you're spending the same amount of money. I'm not saying we shouldn't be making capital improvements. It's just, I'm assuming this is a better way. That's what we're trying to accomplish, is not to have so much capital. You're gonna need some.
Well,
Well, and
and to
it's-
your point,
Trying
we
to-
bundled some of this work.
It would be more efficient, cost
Exactly,
effective.
exactly.
So I'm just thinking, 1 year, 5 years down the road in terms of budgets and what they're gonna start looking like. Cause it's, the idea is to have things that need to be in the capital plan, and things that are in the operating budget there.
Yeah.
And the challenge is gonna be, except for emergencies, how do we line that up properly?
Yeah, they're good thoughts. I mean, this is the second year of having a formal capital plan.
Yeah.
So we're still.
But I mean,
To learn.
for a while, Eric's not gonna release any money from the
School budget.
slushy part of the capital part of the school operational budget until the process is better and he knows there's funding capital to take care of all his
Right.
needs.
Right, the
But
back-
this budget is gonna keep looking like it needs to be substantially bigger. And so justification needs to be made that it's gonna get bigger without actually having to add. There's gonna be some costs, but not add every cost just to a capital budget. Because some of it's gonna come out of their operations.
Have we taken care of the police department, HVAC wise?
It is, out, let's see, what did I do? Is it quoted? I think it's out to quote now for a vendor. No,
Because,
I'm sorry, it's bidding. We're in the design. It's
Okay.
over 50 grand, so.
Okay.
because I was gonna say, we've got the senior center, we've got the fire department, we've got, two at Chestnut Hill. I don't know what else we have, but maybe this is an opportunity to say, let me bid 6 units. 2 at the police, 2 at the Chestnut Hill, the senior and the fire as a single bid and see,
And we bundle it.
bundled up, how does that capital wise compare to?
We have all this funded currently,
Yeah, but that's the question. They need.
Well, no,
funding
they're
for
all
it,
on the
too.
list currently.
but they're not funded.
They're not funded. The only thing that's funded is the police.
Station. And we did town hall here.
So if you're gonna put a few together, then maybe there's an opportunity I guess it depends on how things shake out this year with the capital plan.
Right. But if we were to make a recommendation to bundle the
The
Cost
school
for
plus the fire
related to
department
that.
Plus the senior center, if you save 30,000 on the total package,
That's great.
that's serious,
That's saving money.
Maybe.
Or, well, if it comes back that way, potentially.
The only thing the wrench I'll throw in that is like, so we're about to replace one of the units in the gym that got approved at last year's capital.
Yeah.
plan. Each project has its own, dynamics. So in order to replace that unit at the gym, I have to actually remove the wall. I had to have time bonds, design, how we're gonna structurally remove that wall to be able to access the unit. So it gets a little more complicated. Each project has its own that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, you would have
I
to.
gotta bring in a
bundle
mason,
the plan,
contractor,
engineer, and then bid on it.
Yeah.
You bundle the equipment, but the installation at each site would be a little different.
It'd be complicated, yeah.
but from a contractor's standpoint,
They would know.
knowing that I've got a crew that's gonna stay busy in Belchertown for 3 months versus going there for 3 weeks, it makes a difference.
I want to take note,
Is there the option to buy the equipment off of the state procurement bid?
Right.
And then sub out or bid out the
Installation.
work?
Yeah.
There's that option too.
Well, yeah, but that's,
No.
the vendors they wanna make their
Don't do
money
it.
on, yeah, I don't see that.
because then you have 2 different people you're
Everybody
beholden
blames each
to.
other
Yeah,
for
that's-
warranties and with not understanding what, did you need a new curb on the roof when the HVAC unit gets pulled off and you only bought the unit?
I mean,
I
You
think-
save like 10%.
I think a way to kind of
Yeah,
exit this discussion is if you guys can find a way to talk about it and see if there's a way to do this as an outgrowth of trying to consider the capital needs of the town in its entirety as opposed to, because there's a similar need here, that'd be great. That'd be just fantastic. If it can be done, it'd be an example we could set for the future, so.
well, it would just be writing the bid spec for the buildings.
Right.
See who responds, and maybe you get a break and maybe you don't.
Right.
That's the whole
Right,
part about public procurement.
right. So
Um,
I'm not trying to interrupt. I'm just trying to recognize that it is 5:25
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
and that we have to be careful with our time. I don't think we want to jump into the high school stuff right now. But please, what have we missed in any of the other school
Is
buildings?
that the only school we have left?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well,
we
we
did-
did the central office as well.
Okay, so,
The central office was one of the ones that I submitted. It's not a FY 27, it's.
Okay, thank you.
and we talked about Chestnut Hill. Did we talk about Swift River?
I don't know if there was anything on the list.
Burglary system and a walk-in refrigerator freezer replacement.
Yeah, again, not FY 27 requests.
Okay.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'm just suggesting we at least finish off the schools, and then that way maybe Eric doesn't have to come to the next meeting.
okay.
Well, you might have additional information on those first couple of problems.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then the bleacher at Chestnut Hill is the only other,
Yeah.
the only one we haven't talked about.
Yeah, again, it's an FY 28 or FY 29 request.
So we're back to the high school, because we didn't.
We've got the tennis court.
And we got a HVAC unit. Units it says here, but anyway.
Yeah, I got-
So the tennis court is an interesting one. It's another,
Yeah,
Berkshire Design Group right now is looking into that. And they're gonna come back to me with a proposal, an amount, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be $20,000 or $30,000. That'll be for them to do a full feasibility study on the tennis courts. They believe that there's some issues with the subsurface
right.
that needs to be looked into. So I anticipate coming back with a number pretty soon, so that, hey, $30,000 to do a feasibility study.
So are they having problems with the court where they're not playable right now?
They are, yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
Okay, and these are the ones down and by the side of the building.
And it's the only tennis courts in town.
Yeah, and so it needs, so those courts are used by the town as much as they're used by the schools. Okay,
Yep, they're the only courts in town. The ones at Chestnut Hill were abandoned and put in basketball.
right. So could one make an argument that this is both a town and a school responsibility to upgrade this?
But there may be a request. I mean, that's another question. Do the planning dollars get put into operational budgets, and then this is truly capital construction? And, you know, it sounds like this year you have to do a $20,000 study and perhaps design for the replacement of those tennis courts. And then they'll bid it out and tell you it's a.
Yeah.
$750,000.
So-
Okay. The actual.
Yeah, fine, but the court construction is more than likely gonna have to be in the following year if the design is done.
I promised my better half I would
Yeah.
work at 5:30. I apologize. I'll follow up with Steve. on
Oh, that's
that.
But the CPC doesn't have infinite funds either.
No, they have the ability to borrow.
Correct.
They borrow.
Yep, that's a good point. Good point.
And they also have the ability to. So they do.
Yeah.
If they can have the price of it, it's huge.
And without grants, without what they're asking for, it's unlikely they'll be able to prepare a good application for CPC. So they need the feasibility study,
Yes.
concept and design.
Yeah.
And what was the study?
The Berkshire Design Group is working on that right now. They haven't given me the numbers,
Okay.
but it's roughly maybe between 20 and 30,000.
Their
They might
study.
do some borehole digging,
I've,
to see what the surface is underneath it.
I've heard there are about as many opinions as there are problems with the court right now, is probably about the right way to say it.
Oh, and then HVAC units for
Yeah.
the high school.
Yeah, so it's funny, we were just talking about how the police department and all those buildings were built at the same time. 5 years after that, high school was built. So their systems are getting tired also. They're all 25 years old now. Everybody says that's the new building. That building's 25 years old now, this year. So we're already dealing with, the last 2 weeks I've been dealing with contractors there every day fixing equipment. So we've done the boilers through In the last 10 years through Green Communities, we were the state paid for those, so that's good. What's failing now is the rooftop units that serve, the auditorium, the library, the cafeteria, the bigger spaces. There's probably a total of 15 units on the roof throughout the building. Yeah, it's big money.
And they're just gonna, year after year, you're gonna have problems with this one and then that one and then that one.
Yeah, they're just gonna continue to, as we get older, it's gonna continue to start failing.
Okey dokey.
And unfortunately, those are not Green Community eligible. I looked into that for the,
Yeah, it's a chilled water, right? So
was that?
it's chilled water, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just that, the state wants you to go to electrification, and it's not feasible. So an in-kind replacement, even though I tried to sell them the RF-22 and the environmental benefit of, no, it's all about energy savings,
Yep.
so it doesn't, yeah. The program's changed a lot.
Yes,
We benefited from it. Steve did a lot.
early on, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different program now than it was.
Yeah.
Much more prescribed, where they tell you what you can or can't do. Any other significant challenges?
No, I think that the items that we mentioned at Davis Brook and the 2 HVAC units at Chestnut Hill are the school department's priority this year.
And what's that roof at 25 years?
That's what Rivers is actually at 30 this year.
But that roof might last another 5 or 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's on Phil.
We don't have any leaks or anything like that.
Well,
Right.
Excuse me.
That one might be be able to be coated, I guess. It's the new thing MSBA starting from, so.
Cool. If there's nothing else, let's move on to Linda. I thought we were gonna do the schools tonight and then move on to the next department, next meeting. No, it's 5:35.
Thought I would be.
If you want to talk tonight, we're
I
game.
feel bad that we're
Yes,
not going on.
I'm not trying to shut you up. I'm trying to recognize
No,
them.
that's fine.
But that was my meeting minutes question too.
Yeah,
'cause I
yeah.
thought we staggered.
If you want to talk now, we're all ears.
I can stay, and if
Okay.
you guys are able to stay, I would
I
rather.
can stay with this.
We can make this work. We can make this.
Go while we get this good.
I know, right?
So we're about moral support.
You guys aren't here.
You want me to hang around?
You're not here for moral support? Aren't we meeting you at 9 AM tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, so once they leave,
All right. I did see you.
everything you want is
Yes.
super critical.
You haven't
Oh,
spent-
DPW is now
you
number
spent-
1 on the list. There we go. I
You
said
didn't
it.
spend it all with them already?
Several times over.
How are you, Linda?
I'm good.
We appreciate you sitting through that. I was not trying to avoid, I was trying to make it easier, but if it's easier for you to do this, I'm all
Yeah.
game. I'm
I
in.
would like to.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Let's do this year's and then in January we'll have to be back and get going.
Oh, I will get my forms to you for the next five and 14.
Okay.
So before you jump in on the DPW, I guess I have a question about, police, fire, PCTV, our IT department, we have all the senior center. Are you calling them in or are you gonna have?
Yeah,
We're
our
gonna-
plan-
we're
our
gonna
plan
try to
is for them
review
to be
them
here in
first.
January.
And then bring them all in at one meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I want to make sure everybody.
That's the
And
thought. That
is
was the
thing.
thought.
We're gonna need it. It's hard to say.
They need a bigger vote.
I'm not even sure.
We're gonna need a bigger vote.
You have a lot of.
I have, what I gave to you is only what's important this year. So I know Eric gave you for future
Soup to
years.
nuts.
Mine is, I don't have as many on the list, but I do have I know, Steve, we need to connect on the video, but I did bring copies of the new lock system. Do you want them to have these now?
Yes, I did give the chair earlier,
Yeah, they're right here.
Oh,
but I only gave him one copy.
okay. And the quotes with them?
No, I just had the,
There's,
And is this admin or this is buildings and grounds?
Yep.
Okay.
those are later arrivals.
I thought it said 26 million.
this was upon Steve's request, so that's why it's late.
Oh, it's Steve's fault.
We had some security issues in town
Yeah.
hall and some threats that we felt strongly about.
Uh-huh.
How do committee members get into the building, get this fob system?
Well, we'll have to issue fobs.
Yeah.
So the problem with the key system right now is we haven't changed these locks in probably 30 years. I've had my town hall key since 1997, 93. So
So it's been a while.
the issue is we don't even know who has keys at this point.
Right.
So we really need to address that first and foremost. It doesn't make sense to put another key system in when we can have programming and we don't have to chase people for keys. So that is one issue. And the other issue is just having the ability to monitor what's going on in town hall. So when there's problems.
Yep.
You know, people that come in and have acted inappropriately, threatening.
Yep.
you have some issues.
Yeah.
So these are things that I do feel strongly about, and that's why I asked Linda and the police chief and our building supervisor to get these quotes together late.
I just have two questions. One is on the fob. Can you also have a keypad at one door? Or is that, so let's say, and then you change the number yearly and the committee members don't get the fobs, but the employees all get fobs? I don't know if it comes with it, if it's not.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably look into that.
Do you follow what I'm saying? Then at one
Yeah.
door for.
We use a fob system where I work and it
But
works
that's-
really well.
My second question was gonna be, how do we feel like we're welcoming and open to the public if it's locked at all times?
Well, I talked to Linda about that earlier, or asked Linda that question earlier. I know what it reads there says it would be locked, but I don't think that was the question.
So Max and Chief Pacunis worked on what they wanted presented. I received these estimates yesterday. What I wrote was what, I ran it by Max to make sure that my language was correct, and that is what I was told.
I mean, this is,
So
So
yeah.
this
the answer
is,
to the question is, I feel strongly that having the ability to lock the building down is an option, not
Not required.
not the routine.
So you can, like he said, I ran a building that there was some fob, it was just on your key pass, it was just on a chip, you didn't put it on your phone. But then we set the doors that they would be, gonna be
Yes.
open from 9 to 4.
Right.
Completely open, and then anytime after that, they're completely locked.
Right.
And
Right.
you could only access.
That's what we do.
Or the fob,
By
but
meeting time, you can.
you'd have to do something with set, yeah.
So, but there is an option so that the building can remain in lockdown, and if somebody wants to come in, they press a button, you know,
Right.
Right.
And it would ring the assessors, and they'd say, I have an appointment, and then they come in.
Yeah, this is just.
But I want to make sure it's an option. I agree with you that the building should be open and welcoming.
So
But this is
let
a
me-
tough building too, because it's not like you're walking
let me,
in.
here's,
have the administrative office where they've got eyes on the doors and
that,
you've got a main hallway. This is just.
we did this,
it's not great.
at the synagogue that I was president of in Amherst. And the idea then became that somebody had to keep their eyes on the door at all time, which turned out to be a royal pain in the,
Yeah, you can.
so that we came up with a system that, okay, when it's open, when it's the open hours, the doors are open. And when anything that is after hours, the doors are locked and you have to have, so this is a pretty common solution to that.
So, you know, usually these systems have a lot of different capabilities.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume, and we will verify, that we can have the building open during the daytime, open during meeting times at night, but have it, you know, have the ability, if, you know, for example, during COVID-19, the building was in lockdown, and people had to press a buzzer to get
Right.
in. So I want to make sure that we have all those capabilities, but that we have the flexibility to manage the building as we see fit.
And
The employees would be issued key fobs so that, you know, the person in can open up the doors. You know,
Right.
You know, which is how the routine works now.
But it's also nice because you can reprogram the fob system every year so that if you think too many people have extras, somebody who hasn't been here in a while, their fob wouldn't work. They'd have to get upgraded.
yeah,
So-
Well,
you
that's-
can disconnect that fob at any point,
Right.
and we'll know who has the fob.
Exactly. And so,
And I think the reason that it came forward this way, that the building was gonna be locked and there's a button, there's 5 people and you can see it on your PC who it is, we were responding to that higher level of safety when we were having incidences in this building.
Right.
So,
But again, I want that as an
Yeah.
option, not as the.
right,
default.
yeah, and so that's why I'm saying the reason it came through this way, but I'm sure that.
We just need to verify that
Yeah.
that it can be overridden.
But I
Or
think,
you've got some flexibility when you decide how to manage it. That it can
You also
program.
asked Steve about the police department having access to this camera system too. I don't know that answer.
Well, the camera system, yes.
Typically, you're just an IP address, you know, and other agencies can log in. So if is an incident, they can log in and they can see what's going on in the building.
So I'm gonna step back and say, from my perspective, the technology of what you're putting in isn't critical. The performance characteristics, who gets to watch it isn't critical. Our job is to say, where does this prioritize against the other capital projects? So the question for me is not what it does, why do we need it? That's my question. Why do we need it?
Because we have had a series of incidents in this building, and before we have a major incident, we want to make sure that we have the ability to protect our employees. So it is a high priority for me.
Okay, so the bottom line intent is protecting our employees.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether the police can access, I don't care.
Correct.
I just want to know, why do we need this so that I can judge where does it fit against Linda's plow?
Yeah, we've had 4 or 5 documented incidents.
No, it's everywhere now. Everywhere has better
That to
security.
me
Everywhere has
is
better
important, that you've got 4 or 5.
My garage.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
You know, and the bigger problem is this is a very difficult building, as you stated. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's a lot of nooks and crannies.
Yeah, it would be so much.
If we had a central lobby, it would be easy.
Yeah, if you and the admins were in the front hall looking, you had the cable coming through, all that's, yeah.
And part and parcel of that is the video cameras. Why isn't this just a single security upgrade package?
Well, because they are 2 separate things.
You'd be willing us to prioritize one higher than the other.
I guess I have to give that a look.
I
I mean,
couldn't.
Well, there is a mistake on the form, because they both say
they did come in. as
video
one.
entry systems, right?
Yeah,
We just got 2 different estimates, I put them in 2 different
and I
forms.
think that's why they're on 2 different forms.
No, the item project
Well,
identification.
This is for the fob and security and door locks. This is for video cameras.
So it was one request. So
And-
if you wanted to do 36,000 instead of 20.
In my mind,
It's
it would
one
make,
request.
it would make more sense.
So we can revise that and get it.
Yeah, the cameras are exterior cameras.
But again, it's the same logic, same justification.
Yep, if Steve wants it as one project, I can revise and just put them on.
Just, I think it's easier to do it as one project.
Okay.
I think every door should be done, except maybe.
We're just doing security upgrades, and that's, you know,
3 doors, 2 on this side and 1 in between.
Oh,
We're not gonna engineer it here.
No, I'm just asking, I don't want it to come back, because this quote says can be done for $1,000 each, the side
Right.
doors.
So I included the price of these 2 doors down here,
Okay.
but there is this other one, but.
People do use it.
You
So
may-
then there's this side one where you go into Concom. The front one is locked normally, isn't it?
Well, we need to replace those doors.
And then there's,
and you may find you need to keep one other door locked from now on.
This isn't,
Once you get through
this
it.
isn't the end of this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a learning thing,
The
yeah.
Doors that need to be replaced.
Yeah.
There should be some
But I think it's wise,
cameras.
I think it's wise to have the cameras, I think it's wise to have the
Okay.
locking system, so.
Fine, thank
There's
you.
gonna be more in the future.
Yeah.
There's also gonna be a future request for some modifications for some of the offices. Service and rather than just.
Yeah, we're letting people.
But we're, yeah, this is all things of the action, and we're just doing the best of it we can.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Tell us more.
What's the next one?
So let's stay with buildings and grounds. Door replacement at the Rec Freedom, 22,000. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
That's a continuation of a whole series. And then we've got 2 HVACs, the senior center and the fire department.
right,
We're talking a total of 150 there. The senior center HVACs, is that the entire Freedom building? Do you know?
No, it was one end of it. It was one part of it.
It does not include Freedom Center. It's just the senior center.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, in my mind, that's the same, what is Freedom then?
Freedom is after that little causeway
That's the,
where the Legion building.
American Legion was in there, the thrift shop. They
Okay,
don't have central there, they have some mini splits and
Yeah.
some window units.
okay, so this is just the part where they serve lunch
The
and
town
they,
side.
and they, okay.
Yes, that big.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'm still learning, I'm new to town, so I'm still learning.
Yeah, and there's 2 units there. Let's see, so that's why that's 100,000.
And then, yeah, I know,
Says, my thing is says 2 units at the fire department. Are there 2 units at the fire
I
department?
believe there are.
It's only half. I think there's 1.
And I don't recall.
There's that big old unit on the roof. Is that a double?
I don't recall.
Anyway, yes,
Okay.
$150,000 for the 2 each.
So I know the fire department has failed this past year. Same with the heat.
Yeah.
What's the status on the senior center? Has that gone kaput, or is that in the
No,
midst
it
of failing?
hasn't, but it's high maintenance.
Okay. And that's it for buildings and grounds?
Yes.
Okay. Public Works, we've got 4 there, the wood chipper,
Yeah.
E6, the robotic line painter, and the CDL class vehicle lift.
Yeah, the robotic line painter is gonna be more buildings and grounds than highway. That should be under
Okay,
B and G.
no big deal.
Yes, questions? What do you wanna start with?
You told us some about the vehicle lift and how you're reaching a point where,
Yeah, so that is useful life.
Right.
And that is the lift, that's the bigger lift that handles all of the large CDL trucks and the fire apparatus. And it's, it needs to be replaced.
I think you mentioned I'm not against it at all, but I'm just saying, your concern was one day you're just gonna basically get there and it's not gonna work.
Can I jump in here? 'Cause
Yeah, you
I
stop
went
and
down.
saw Travis.
All right, so,
Yeah.
so this is a lift this is for the ambulances and the large trucks and whatnot. It's got 2 separate hydraulics that, lift the front and the back basically independently. So the operator has to, adjust the hydraulic valves so that the unit goes up evenly. And if the valves are very sensitive and they're not easy to keep balance, and there have been times where they worry about the whole damn ambulance falling off. Now, they're standing out of the way when this happens, but we still lose an ambulance.
How much maintenance do you outsource on the vehicles that are used on that lift?
No.
Yeah,
That's
so
my only question.
the Public Works Department maintains police, fire, DPW, all the vehicles.
And all the maintenance.
So unless there's something that is way over and above that needs to be sent out to a dealer or
The computer
shop
shop.
house, this
All right,
be crippling.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I put that lift, I replaced that lift back in, I think, 98 or 99.
Oh, so it might be installation error?
Originally, I think 1970. 1970 it was put in the ground. I replaced.
well, you can trust these guys, huh?
In 1990, yeah. So it's time for an upgrade.
Yep.
Because, the technology's better.
You could blame it on Gary, he was probably
Yeah.
in charge at the time.
Yeah.
Might as well.
No, 1970, no, that would have been Buster right then. Yeah, Buster, right.
We talked about the robotic line painter the last time you were here.
Yes.
B6 replacement, I understand the front frame is now cracked after the last round of plowing. So Yeah, it can be repaired for now kind of thing, but V6 is,
Yeah,
That's
it's
I have a
got
question.
146,000 miles on it.
Which one is V6?
It's one of the F-350s.
dually with a dump
Smaller,
body.
yeah.
That's all I know. It's red.
Yeah, bunch of red dualies with no
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah.
One of those.
It's red.
The wood chipper,
Yes,
my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that it is functional. It is on borrowed time, but it's still running.
yes,
If it does fail, there are options of getting Wagner wood or getting a rental or getting a whatever kind of thing coming in. The impression that I got was that it's not an imminent, has to be replaced absolutely now because we have no plan B.
it's taking a lot of repair. I understand the ignition is bad. And that if we have to rent, we're at $2,500 a week to rent a chipper.
And what's the replacement cost?
100,000.
Anybody know what the life is of a
With-
chipper? 10
Maybe
years?
it's probably
I
20
have
years.
15 on them.
Okay, I was gonna say something like that.
Okay.
We would get some money back on a trade-in, as part of the deal. This is just integral to what we
Here-
do. With the trees coming down, we respond to those all the time. When Asplin comes in, who we contract to remove, the trees that need to be taken down, we follow them around and chip up what they leave behind. So,
They don't bring their own chipper.
no,
Oh,
we partner with them.
okay.
So it is used
So
constantly.
we're talking about the fact that some post, some storm, whatever. If the chipper goes down, one, you guys can't clear stuff the way you need to. And two, we're spending $2,500 a day
A week.
and a week rather. And three, we're not sure if chippers are gonna really be available because that's the time when everybody's gonna be looking for a chipper.
But in that kind of an event, in that kind of event, you can
I'm just thinking of worst case
stock-
scenario, that's all.
stockpile the branches someplace.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't pay. So,
Until-
you know the pile at the dump
Yeah.
that we do annually?
Yeah.
That pile alone would cost over $10,000 to chip. So if we were.
Right, bringing
But you
Wagner,
have a vendor do that.
bringing Wagner in.
So the only way to do that is to come in with a.
But there's also regulations on storage and brush. So
Right.
we would have to pile twice that size and it wouldn't fly.
Have you ever piled brush and then tried to pull it out again, put it through a chipper?
Exactly.
I don't have the chipper hours, Steve, but I do have, a note that it should have been replaced in 2011.
What year was the chipper manufactured?
I don't have my full
I thought we
inventory.
got it in 11.
Well, then it says replaced, oh, maybe it was replaced in 2011,
Yeah.
and it's a 10-year life expectancy.
So
So
we
2021.
bought that chipper when we had the October snowstorm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's a 2011, it's a 10-year life, it should have been 2021.
Correct. So we're already 4 years old.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I'm curious how many hours are on the meter, if the hour meter's still.
And it's an in-kind replacement with maybe some bells and whistles that the new chippers come with.
Something new.
It's not significantly larger or has its own loading grapple or anything like that.
Right.
Makes
I don't
sense.
have my full inventory on that, but I can get the hours.
But, and again, devil's advocate, it is working now. But maybe on last legs.
Yep.
Understand that. I'm trying to,
I know, but
Yeah,
the whole
okay.
point is to plan, and if we go down, we're
Absolutely.
just emergency buying a chipper, so,
which is stupid.
yeah. Or renting one, which is even more stupid, but. We're trying to avoid that
Yep.
situation.
Understood.
Thought Mike was gonna say granite.
No.
Next item.
Are we missing something?
How often is this thing used?
The chipper?
Yeah.
I can't tell you
Oh,
how
a couple
often.
days a week.
What happens to all the chipped wood?
The chips we put down in our yard, we also offer them free to residents. We have a list of people that can call in and we'll bring chips to them.
They'll use them on roadsides, for paving projects.
Like chip trucks.
Is there a market to sell these to wood pellet manufacturers?
They're pretty low quality.
Yeah, and
they have to
I
be hard-
looked
Mostly
into
hardwood.
even the
or
pile
something
at the
else.
transfer station, because some of that is good mulch, like turn that over and that's a whole nother ballgame
They
to
have to
start
invest.
to
Yeah.
sell the product. Procurement piece of it, like it's
I'm
not
just-
easy, I know.
If
So
you wanted to do,
Universal
if
Forest-
you wanted to do something,
Universal Forest Products generates a lot of sawdust and a lot of, and they sell theirs to wood pellet manufacturers. So that just got me thinking.
We
you know?
were communicating with Red Fire Farm to come over and get some of that pile at the transfer station. They're looking for leaves and we even offered to load some of their trucks. If they wanted to take it for free, because that in itself is worth money to us. But
Okay, I'm thinking.
yeah, no, that's,
Well, then they had the big fire and whatever, so I'm sure that's the focus of whatever they're doing now.
yeah.
So people who want chips or wood, they can go on the website and they can
again,
contact the DPW.
because I use Chip Drop, and you have to pay $20 to just register on Chip Drop. And then you don't get to, it says, would you like to donate more? And you don't get deliveries
No, if you,
unless you donate more.
so if you sign up at the DPW.
Yeah.
When they're working in the area, they're not gonna drive from one to town.
No, that's the same thing with Chip,
But they'll drop chips at your house.
yeah, all the tree services log on to this site to say, I can dump my truck a half mile away instead of going somewhere
Well,
else.
we also work with.
No, but I was questioning whether or not you could legally come up with some way where you could generate, but probably not.
Yeah, John's.
We partner with National Grid and any of their tree
Yeah.
services that are in, and we
Yeah.
help them find people to drop their chips as well.
Yeah.
Because
Not
Well, that
only
was-
we want to-
I'll take them all on your side myself. so I'm
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Moving on.
call and
Are we
we'll get
missing
you on the
anything?
list.
I got 200 yards left.
Linda, are we missing anything?
Just the robotic line painter. If you have any more questions on that, that to me is, a high priority. for-
No, we talked that one through pretty well last time. in
Okay.
terms of-
All right, if you had any questions on that, I'm happy to answer them, but
So I do have two other questions on recreation that you may or may not. The
Okay.
town beach parking lot replacement,
Yeah.
is that being fully covered by CPC funding?
Yes. Mhm.
So it's capital, but it's not from we don't need to worry about funding on that.
right, that's, yep.
Do you know anything about the Chestnut, pool anti-entrapment covers?
Do not.
Okay,
Kyle Tebow has that information, but what I can tell you is that, they're at the bottom. Those are the.
Right.
The grades that.
Right.
cover the intake.
So you don't get sucked in.
my question is $30,000. How much of that is draining out and replacing the
That's
water
exactly what they do.
versus
Yeah.
versus the actual
Scuba
unit?
They can't do it by diving.
They do drain the pool,
But they
you're
can't,
correct.
well, some can, they can't dive and the water, so draining the pool is free. You know, that just goes into the sewer. But they have to buy water to get it back in and our water district doesn't have enough water to supply, so oftentimes they have to hire.
Capones or whatever.
My question is that a capital expenditure?
Yes,
Can you capitalize the water that you put into the swimming pool?
we have no choice because where else is it gonna come from? We don't have an operating budget to buy 90,000 gallons of water.
And nobody brings in a truck, pumps it into,
For
probably too many trucks.
Right.
How many gallons?
Yes, we have to.
It's a lot of gallons.
So you have to look at it as full project cost, not
Right.
just, it's the cost.
Yeah. Because that's where I was going, is that how much of this is actually capital and how much of this is
Not
just
operating
expense?
expense, because, we don't replace the water annually. If we did, then it would just be done.
Right, okay. That's the only questions I had for Linda.
So when you have the other department heads in, that's another good question for Carol, because he'll have the breakdown of the water.
Okay.
And he's trying to work with the water district to see how much water he can take from the system.
Yeah.
Cut down on how much he has to buy, but he doesn't know that number yet. So
I know they go through this struggle every time they have to do that.
that is gonna be a priority. Because it's mandated.
Oh, yeah, and you don't want, no. I remember the stories that went with installing that.
The only other statistic I have come up with for that sports line painter is, I know when I was making my argument, it was based on money and labor, and I gave you a number for the labor, but when you look at the hours saved, we're looking at 5.5 weeks of labor saved
Oh, I believe you.
for one season.
5.5 weeks. And fully burdened cost of a, I don't know what grade employee that is, but do we have a rough number on
Well,
the fully burdened?
Typically, the line painter employees are my higher grade pay, they're my building workers. So when they're out doing lines, there's so many building projects, they're not able to be in the buildings doing those work. So it's, when I gave you the value, the money value, I gave you an average hourly rate.
They set pins, how do the automated line painter work?
The automated is GPS.
Oh, it's total GPS?
Yeah.
They don't need one central point to go off of the GPS?
No, once you get that field done one time, it's
Yeah.
then
It
in
learns.
the maps, you can just.
Yeah, I didn't know if they needed to have a correction that,
No, and that's the other thing about this
That's the way it
unit,
used to happen 10,
is
15 years
when you
ago.
do it by hand, you can't let you can't let the lines disappear throughout the season because you're back to
Yeah. a lot
square
of
one.
pin in certain
And
places.
human error can happen, so
Yeah.
things start to shift. This field is done the same way every single time in the exact same location that it
Yeah.
needs to be at. When we had when the unit was here being presented, we did the stadium football field. Some of the lines were a little off by the time we got done, and it was just because over the season or over the years, those end zones shifted a little. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Can't argue with the robot.
9.5 yards.
Did you hear that the contractor who's built the Olympic ice rink in Italy made it too small?
Oh, yeah?
Just a little bit too small.
Just a little?
I don't know how much too small, but it's too small. It's not in regulation for the
No,
Olympic.
you're
ice
not
rink.
an engineer, Eric.
I didn't look at it, but I've done a number of fields and they're, the ass, particularly if you try to put too many sports inside, you're allowed to like make ellipses with the turns in the track, but then to host meets, each lane has to, you have to reconcile each lane, it's just.
Spoken like a true engineer, Mike.
Before we break, and I asked Chris about B6.
Yeah.
Whether, so the school district is looking for a maintenance truck. And I didn't ask Eric, but I believe their truck is just a runabout for grabbing stuff down at the hardware store, moving, a desk from here to there, that kind of stuff. And I asked Chris about if we replace B6, could we then roll B6 into use over at the school district so they don't have to buy a new truck? And the bottom line was no.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna challenge the fire department, if the chief does in fact get a new truck, his old truck then becomes a brush truck. The brush truck that we currently have would get used as a trade-in. But right now, it's good enough to respond for emergencies. So it's reliable enough today to be used for emergencies. And my thought is, could it in fact be rolled over to the school department and save us $50,000 on buying a new truck over there?
Before you go too far in moving things out of
Yep.
departments, we have a vehicle policy through the Green Communities. And once you move one vehicle out of department into another, it has to be more efficient. So it has to have better miles per gallon
Right.
than the one you're replacing. Just saying.
Thank you. I am woefully ignorant
Yeah, and that brings up a good question. If the Green Communities program has changed enough where we can't access it for grant money, then why are we,
doing all the other things?
I guess we need to look into that a little bit further.
The state has to really evaluate the future of that with the MVP program. They've got to come up with a single package that works for everything and not have it be so hodgepodgey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're moving in that direction.
I've only been here just over 2 years, but to try to find things that work for Belchertown with the Green Communities Act there's nothing.
Yeah, we did so much work.
And we do the reporting every year, and we have restrictions. I don't know, yeah.
So it's 3 feet shorter than a standard rink.
All right, so confirm, are we ready to move on with the agenda, please?
Yes.
All right, confirm next meeting date is
The night.
January 21.
Yep.
Who's gonna be here? Do we want the fire chief?
Before we, yeah, sorry.
We want to invite other department heads,
So we're gonna need,
fire chief, police
Fire,
chief.
police, senior center
Senior
director,
Yeah,
recreation director,
yeah,
Esther and,
PCTV, Kevin Hannon.
yeah.
IT.
That's all for the 19th.
and IT.
Yeah,
21st.
And most of them only have
21st.
one or two requests, so it should go fairly.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Anything with,
Do we need a meeting before that? I know we're gonna need more meetings at some point.
Yes.
Conservation. I don't think it was in the packet.
We want to get through that meeting and then schedule extra meetings?
Well, I just
Since
want,
it's the
I'm a little
holiday.
bit,
Can check the link for that.
nervous about our documents.
Okay, then let's,
I don't think, I'm not saying it's fruitful, but I would like us to look at that master spreadsheet.
yep, all right.
Based on the discussion today, maybe make a
All right.
preliminary. I don't know if you guys think it's worthwhile. That's all I'm
Are
saying.
you willing to meet the week before for us to just kind of go through things? And then we'll have the department heads in the week after?
Well, I'm certainly willing to meet earlier in January.
Because we need to.
But I'll be honest, I want to stop playing paperwork games and forms and spreadsheets and start making decisions.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Take these,
You guys are on the same page.
no, we're not.
I'll recommend it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
We all took information today. How's that getting put together? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about new forms.
You mean, how do we
And I'm
integrate?
sorry, but austerity isn't the only part of this game. Part of this game is planning.
Yes, agreed.
And the majority of.
So you know what, let's have
There's
this,
some big, huge questions.
so let's have
that
this
you have.
discussion before the 21st. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Now's not the time, but it's a good idea.
When do we want to meet?
What does the calendar look like?
Happy-
What's the week
Either
before?
2
So the
weeks
7th.
before or the week before.
January 7th would be 2 weeks prior.
Or what's the one right after that? Because I don't see a whole lot happening before that.
And the 14th, sorry. The 14th is
Let's do the 14th, because I just, you want to do, you guys want to do the 7th, it's fine.
14
I'm
and
just saying-
20.
I have a 6:30 meeting in West Springfield.
Oh,
No, we'll be fine, because we're gonna do an hour and a half of that. It's just,
Okay.
14 and 21, and 21 is when we're going to have everybody.
yes, sounds good.
okay, good idea.
But just, do we bring computers so somebody's got the spreadsheet?
Yeah, I want to talk to Esther,
Combining.
and we can get some.
You follow what I'm saying, Mike?
Yep.
I wanna take the information that we have. I'm not saying we're going backwards. I'm saying-
Good, that's what I want to make sure we don't do.
No, but
Okay.
we can have a discussion then.
No, we can do that, we can pull that off.
Can you remind me that I need to have everybody here on the 21st?
Yeah,
I'll
yes,
send, I'll put that out.
okay.
Um,
I will forward it to those persons.
do I hear a motion to adjourn? Oh, sorry.
And you also.
I heard one,
You want the
Second.
3, 4, and 5-year capital by.
the 14th.
14, okay. So
Yes,
send
we got
me
a
an
busy
email,
schedule.
I will circulate.
We're gonna have a busy schedule, that's a good thing. Yeah, all right. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. So, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good job, guys.
Hey guys, it's Esther. Planning
Yep.
to come in 15, 20 minutes early to the 21st. I just heard you make a meeting.
Yeah, but we're also doing something on the
Oh, any
14th.
chance you could come on the 14th?
It would be a lot easier to do it on the 14th.
Yes, I can definitely do the 14th.
Let's do that.
Committee.
What
Let's
time?
meet a little bit early on the 14th.
What time's your actual